What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to today's prediction video. For this one, we will be looking at the second semi-final taking place this week in the Euro 2024 tournament in Germany. And this match takes place on the 10th of July, that is this Wednesday. It does see two European heavyweights prime themselves for a showdown as the Netherlands and England prepare to go head to head. We start off our team analysis with the Netherlands. The last 5 fixtures for the Oranje have ended in 3 wins, 1 draw and 1 loss. Their last match was a 2-1 win over Turkey in their quarter-final match. In these last 5 fixtures, the Netherlands have scored 9 goals and conceded just 4. The first player I'd like to talk about for the Netherlands has got to be Liverpool centre-back Virgil van Dijk. In 73 appearances for his national team, Van Dijk has scored 9 goals. In Van Dijk, I think the Netherlands have a very physical and very motivational captain. This is a player who understands that he is not very quick, so he makes use of his physicality and his stature to just throw opposition attackers off completely. In Van Dijk, the Netherlands also do have a bit of an outlet in terms of attacking from set pieces. He uses his height to his advantage to just get his head on the end of crosses from corners or free kicks and then score headers. I think Virgil van Dijk's most incredible quality, however, is his ability to motivate and inspire his teammates. This is a player who never gives up, and that kind of mentality just rubs off from him onto his teammates. Next up, I want to talk young PSG attacker Xavi Simons. In 19 appearances for his national team, Xavi Simons has scored 1 goal and provided 3 assists. Xavi Simons has spent quite a bit of his PSG career on loan at other clubs. He spent last season on loan at RB Leipzig in Germany. In Xavi Simons, I think the Netherlands have a player who's very creative with the ball at his feet. This is a player who loves to dribble, loves to get in 1v1 situations and beat opposition players either with his technique or his pace. But in Xavi Simons, the Netherlands also have a player who's very creative in terms of his passing. He can pick out passes from either close range or long range with incredible accuracy. And this is the player they will look to create a lot of their dynamic attacks. A player who knows that he can play either possession style and control the game, or play it quick and look to spread the play as soon as possible to his tricky wingers. Next up, I want to talk Liverpool attacker Cody Gakpo. In 29 appearances for his national team, Cody Gakpo has scored 12 goals and provided 5 assists. So essentially, there is a goal contribution every second match. Cody Gakpo is a very flexible attacker. He's able to play out on either wing as either a left winger or a right winger and then cut in and score from the right wing, or go out wide and provide crosses from the left wing. But Cody Gakpo is also a very tall and very strong player. So if you ask him to play as a centre forward in a kind of target man role, that is also something he can do. And it then provides him the ability to either beat centre-backs with his pace or outmuscle them and then score goals with either foot or aerially with headers. Next up, we look at England. Now, the last 5 fixtures for the Three Lions have ended in 3 wins and 2 draws. Their last match was a 1-1 draw against Switzerland that saw the Three Lions sneak into the semi-finals after winning 5-3 on penalties. In their last 5 games, England have scored 5 goals and conceded just 3. The first player I'd like to talk about for England has got to be central midfielder Declan Rice. In 56 appearances for his national team, Declan Rice has scored 3 goals and provided 1 assist. Declan Rice, I think, is the perfect balance between an attacking midfielder and a defensive midfielder. He can do both roles fantastically well, and I think to employ Declan Rice as a central midfielder allows him to make use of his qualities in both departments. He can go forward and arrive late in the opposition box to score goals from range, or he can get stuck in and provide a sort of defensive rock for his team from midfield. You'll see him applying pressure on the ball, winning it back, using his quick thinking and intelligence to cycle the ball forward. But Declan Rice as well has fantastic passing range and ability, And I think he's the kind of player that can operate as a deep-lying playmaker for England within their midfield. Next up, I want to talk Real Madrid attacking midfielder Jude Bellingham. In 34 appearances for his national team, Jude Bellingham has scored 5 goals and provided 5 assists. I think Jude Bellingham was originally employed as a central midfielder, but he started to veer more towards being an attacking midfielder. He enjoys playing in that number 10 role. It allows him to play a more active role in pushing his team forward and distributing the ball. But something I really admire about Jude Bellingham is even when he plays in that number 10 role, you still see Jude Bellingham constantly running, providing energy and using his stamina to just apply pressure on the opposition defenders when they have the ball. Jude Bellingham understands that by winning the ball back from the opposition defenders, he can get into 1v1 situations with the keeper and then just score solo goals. And that is something we've seen him try again and again. Jude Bellingham as well has fantastic vision and creativity, and it's what allows him to thrive in that little hole between the opposition defense and their midfield. Finally, I want to talk Manchester City attacker Phil Foden. In 39 appearances for his national team, Phil Foden has scored 4 goals and provided 8 assists. I think in Phil Foden, England have a very, very flexible player. He can play out on either wing, he can play centrally in that number 10 role, or he can play as a second striker. I think Phil Foden has a lot of variety to his game. If you put him to play on the left wing, he'll probably go out wide and try and get crosses in to set up his teammates. But if you put him on the right wing, he'll do that, but he'll also look to cut in and score individual goals. If you play him centrally in that number 10 role, his chemistry and his mental link with the center forward then starts to take center stage. And we see them playing as a kind of strike duo instead, with Phil Foden looming around the edge of the box, just looking to arrive late and take shots at the opposition goalkeeper. When we look at the head-to-head between these two sides, we can see that the last 5 fixtures between the Netherlands and England have ended in 3 wins for the Oranje, 1 win for the 3 Lions, and then 1 draw separating the two teams. In these last 5 fixtures, the Netherlands have scored 10 goals, and England have scored 7. So this statistic kind of makes it seem as though the fixture is skewed in the favor of the Netherlands. But I think something that we have to also take note of is if we look at these last 5 fixtures, England have scored in every single last one of them, meaning the Netherlands have struggled to keep a clean sheet against the 3 Lions. I personally have been very impressed with the performances of Cody Gakpo in this tournament. He came into the tournament on the back of a fairly disappointing season with Liverpool, but so far he's managed to rack up 3 goals and 1 assist in this competition. It goes to show that in Cody Gakpo, I think the Netherlands also have a player who is quite flexible up front. The Netherlands also qualified through to the knockout stages as one of the best third place teams. They were in quite a challenging group alongside France, Austria and Poland. The Netherlands like to build their attacking play from the back, playing possession style, keeping the ball and moving it around, creating space and then running into the space. And that's why we see players like Frankie de Jong being so important in terms of providing passes from deep, or Xavi Simons in terms of dribbling with the ball and creating chances with his dynamic runs and his movement. I think for England, they focused more on playing anti-football strategies. That's why I've highlighted 3 midfielders for England. When England look at this fixture, I think for them they'll probably be thinking that the key to victory will be to shut out the Netherlands in midfield and just suffocate them with as much pressure as they possibly can. And this will allow players like Declan Rice and Jude Bellingham to now put their defensive abilities on display instead. I think also this is why we've seen England maybe not be as fluid or as creative as we'd like them to be. The only 2 players who are genuinely getting goals for this side have got to be Jude Bellingham and Harry Kane. Interestingly, both of these players are foreign-based English players. Jude Bellingham is currently plying his trade in Spain with Real Madrid, while Harry Kane finds himself on the books of German giants Bayern Munich. I think right now, when we look at the Netherlands, they also will take a fair bit of confidence from knowing that They have a player like Wout Weghorst waiting on the bench. This is a player who comes off the bench in the dying minutes, and then with his first or second touch, he's scoring goals. And England will be wary of that threat from the bench. I think, however, when we look at both of these teams, they do seem to be underperforming. The Netherlands can be frustrated if you keep them limited and restricted in how they want to move the ball. I think when we look at England, they're restricted in players not perhaps having the confidence to take on opposition defenders in 1v1 situations, dribble through the back line, and then score individual goals. Players like Bukayo Saka and Phil Foden do this week in and week out for their clubs in Manchester City and Arsenal. But we're not seeing them do this for their national team. And I think that's why a lot of England fans are maybe a bit impatient with their team right now. I think, however, in terms of individual quality, England have perhaps too many players in certain positions, and that's why we're seeing players like Trent Alexander-Arnold, Kyle Walker, and Kieran Trippier fighting for that right-back role, where one will be played in their preferred role, and then the other two just sort of have to slot in where they can. The same could be said for up front in that right-wing position, where both Phil Foden and Bukayo Saka want that spot, but only one can play there. And Phil Foden's secondary spot of the number 10 role behind the striker is also occupied by Jude Bellingham. So that means Foden kind of has to play out wide and just do what he can on that left wing instead. Nevertheless, I do think in terms of individual quality, England do have players who can just turn a match on its head. Wout Weghorst can do this for the Netherlands from the bench, but England will have these players on the pitch from the start of the match right up until the end. Other players like Kobe Mainoo from Manchester United can also come off the bench and provide a bit of direct attack through the center. A player like Cole Palmer can come off the bench for England and give them creativity out wide. So I think England do have talent in buckets. They're just struggling to get things connected, either due to a lack of chemistry or due to some very anti-football tactics being employed by Gareth Southgate. I think in this match as well, it is just a clash of that. Football versus anti-football. And here as well, I think England's anti-football tactics will come out on top against the Netherlands' football. I think the Netherlands play some very inspirational and very motivating football at times. It can be creative, it can look gorgeous, but when they're fighting from a goal down, it starts to look frustrating and players can become impatient and irritable with one another. And I think that's what England's tactic here will be. To win the ball back as soon as possible, counter-attack, and then just frustrate the Netherlands into making silly mistakes. My final score prediction for this one will be the Netherlands 1, England 2. Just like with the other semi-final, I did say that England were one of the strongest teams in this tournament from day one. But I would actually prefer to see the Netherlands in the final, solely because their football seems more uplifting, more expressive. You see these players going out there and actually wanting to do what they're doing. They're enjoying playing this passing style of football. They're enjoying using their creativity to take advantage of space or to create space. And with England, it looks kind of like they're being restricted to playing a certain style of football that doesn't allow them to express themselves. It sort of places more emphasis on just getting a result and not being very entertaining at all. Hi, thank you for making it to the end of this video. We really appreciate the watch time and the fact that you took some time out of your day to spend it with us talking about the sport that we all love. If you enjoyed the content, why not, drop a like down below or comment in the comment section. Maybe even consider subscribing to the channel. And I mean, while you are here right now, have a look at some of our old videos too. They should be appearing on the screen right now, along with that subscribe button. So you know exactly what to do. Thank you so much. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm. And have a great day out there. And we hope to see you again very, very soon. Thanks. Stay safe.